Let's bring in Hassan Barari. He's a Professor of International Affairs at Qatar University. Good to have you with us again. I just want to pick up on something that Steph actually just said in occupied East Jerusalem, was this potential thought that if Israel doesn't target Iran directly, its proxies might be hit. Therefore, Yemen and Syria come into the frame. What do you think the options there are?
Well, obviously, Iran cannot afford not to respond to any Israeli attack against its own soil. And President Ebrahim Raisi made it perfectly clear, and he conveyed the message to everyone else through the Emir of Qatar when he told him that Iran would respond. And this is something very important for the Iranians, their prestige, their status in the region, and they don't want to be seen as weak in front of their proxies. So when Israel attacked their consulate, they retaliated the way they did. Now, Israel is also feels that it should retaliate and respond to the Iranian attack, and this actually will create a vicious circle. I think without international someone from the international community step in and try to mediate and find a common ground, at least to mitigate the impact of what Israel is going to do, I think this might actually develop into a wider conflict, and Iran probably would not respond immediately or directly, but would definitely use its proxies, but in a more lethal way this time.
There are two sort of, you might say, moving parts here as well. We sort of look into this a little bit more in depth. We've seen the Houthis in Yemen able to respond to any attack, and we've seen that coalition of, you might say, Western ships in the Red Sea trying to deal with the Houthis and not really having much success. And then you have this statement made by the Europeans, especially the US as well, that they will not support Israel if Israel attacks again. Yet we're hearing the Americans saying Israel has ironclad support from them. There's so many mixed messages going on here that's very confusing, not just for the viewer, but also for the politics of the region.
Yeah, well, you know what? We have to understand that the American president cannot afford not to stand by Israel. So when he said on many occasions that, it's like strong support for Israel, it doesn't mean that he sanctioned what Israel is going to do. And he made it perfectly clear that Israel should not attack Iran and should be satisfied with the success of the defense. But also, he added on many occasions that if Iran attacks, the American would step in and work with Israelis closely with Israelis in order to respond to the attack. Meaning the American support to Israel would be defensive in this case, but will not support their offensive leaning kind of politicians who want to take the whole region into a war, and this is obvious.
One of the main statements that was made when Iran launched its missiles and drones by the Western allies was unprecedented, unheard of. They condemned it. Yet in that barrage of nearly 300 missiles, nobody was killed. An airfield was damaged. Yet when 33,000 Palestinians, a large majority of them being women and children, are killed, Western nations who support Israel don't use the word unprecedented.
Problem is that, we're dealing with double standards on the part of the Western countries. They support Israel. They don't see the Palestinians as even human. I mean, casting aside all of their statements, talking about the need to have a humanitarian aid, etc., but they look at the Palestinians as figures and numbers. So when an Israeli is the victim, everybody's standing up and talking about the unprecedented attack, or when the Iranians attacked Israel, it's as if it's unprecedented. But Israel has been attacking Iran for almost 10 years now, in Syria, in Lebanon, and everywhere. And also they moved inside Iran and they sabotaged their nuclear sites. They killed their scientists. So the war actually launched by the Israelis had been on for almost 10 years. And when Iran responded, and here I'm not really supporting Iran, but I'm here and I'm analyzing. So when Iran attacked, they're like up in arms, saying that the Iranians have attacked Israel as if it's unprovoked.
OK, we'll see what happens. It's obviously a very complicated scenario with lots of moving parts. Hassan Barari, thank you for trying to help us with that. Thank you.